Last night, after the lips of a desperate raindrop came over the New York City skyline and flooded the autumn of our shedding faces, a skeptical skeleton of joy came to me in a foiling dream. There was a childish laughter giggling in the faint voice of my singing blood, and I lifted my face to a screaming world, a world of one old weathered man, beautifully brown, bruised, walking down the drunk midnight of Bowery Street. His smile wore the reach of breathing hands, the warmth of a retired sun setting in his eyes. We did it. As he left into the disappearing point of distance amidst the honking horns and the foreign taxi cab and the sore throats of foreign taxi cab drivers, I watched a city lit by a light no electricity could ignite, a skyscraper no building could reach, a ceiling has fallen in some corner of the earth where there is no sky or no breeze. Tonight, Obama is our echoing mantra, our generation's great romance. Never have I been more proud to be an owl-wise woman of shackles and shambles, of nooses and deeply rooted tree branches, of clarinet oceans and violin passages, ambulant picket signs and riot flesh, of thick waving curls and frowning hot combs. Never have I been more proud of the forbidden love of this land, the large worn lines and wrinkles of my mother's hands. To be a woman of this color now, still there is more, so much more to come and go. This morning, at the wake of a Harlem dawn, yawning on the sweet brown sugar blanket hugging my bones, I awoke, a splinter in the wild forest of this country's eyes, shrugging at the worries of yesterday, floating down the enormous spine of Malcolm X Boulevard's tomorrow, and I could feel a humming in our gaze, an infectious spirit in our lilac children, and I watched as a police officer, pale-ridden as the ghosts of his ancestors, hugged a stinging homeless sun man carrying the weight of forgotten shores in his eyes. What awe it is to have lived on this day, in this morning of all days and all mornings. Almost tripped up on that. I remember writing that poem and being like, crap, Obama better do really well, because I don't want to have to throw that poem away. But in light of that, I moved to Chicago for my MFA, and I'm just going to give a brief intro to this poem, and I think it's important. Right now, I don't know if anybody in Bermuda heard about Darion Albert. Darion Albert is a man that was a young boy, 16 years old, was brutally beaten by a group of other boys in the south side of Chicago. And I say all this to say, because I did a poem about Obama, right? We're speaking about truth now tonight. I did a poem about Obama. We have to learn that Obama is a very great thing, what he was able to do as a black man, the first president, yes? We also have to hold him accountable, right? That's what we do as people. We have to hold him accountable. We talk about being critical. This poem is for the young. It's for the people that Obama did not go bid for when he went to Copenhagen. So here we go. This is for all the young people in Chicago after moving there and seeing the violence that goes on there. The young people in Bermuda too, I'm sure y'all dealing with violence. The young know no boundaries. We quake the earth on our tongues and spit whirlwinds for lynch pendulums of our yesterdays, dream for better days. Sometimes mothers free hummingbirds from their rib cage and they don't always learn the art of flying. In our youth, we listen to the world laugh at the sport of us dying. Seafarer of prisons we be, in arm's reach of reality. How dare they ask us to leave this scene of the crime where there is no rhythm to the rhyme of a dead heartbeat. Let us speak, for the slaves still dance in the soul train at the bottom of the sea. How we marching against warfare with chopped feet, deaf ears, and no voice to speak. They take our freedoms and our minds and our right to bleed. So I nail my pumping heart with a pen and I write to bleed. Children slit their wrists everywhere to be like Jesus and exist a fisherman of fish in the sea. Mothers raise their children and become flowers but then become their weeds. Attached at the womb, boys grow into men but they never leave, trying to fit back in and make a belly rotated sun around the world 360 degrees. We pass our failures on to our youth and expect them to follow the lead. Ritualizing our death, rocking skulls and bones in our chests. Greek Nike checks, they want to bury us alive alive like Masons, and I wouldn't be surprised if I died for what I'm saying. Life's a game, and I've been playing. I ain't got time to be tired. I'm not fighting for freedom or justice. I'm fighting for my soul. Sold, lingering on wires like Converses between telephone poles above hood concrete where we bleed, cooing and whisper. We speak from our graves because our freedom of speech is buried and encaged in the prisons they breathe. The world, I used to think I could save it, but I grew up on a block where it was easy to fall through the cracks in the pavement. I earned my poetic license so that I could say ish. Haunted by the blood in me because a junkie father raped it. I used to live my whole life jonesing to change it. Rebelling against my mind because I got so used to our enslavement. I share my soul on a stage in hopes to get young people off their slave ships. And to the adults, you have just witnessed an old soul's reincarnation. How we quiver and cringe at the sight of an Iraqi nation. Children strapping their hearts to bombs as if God didn't say ish, how he will send shields and swords in our wombs and we will face it. So when a child comes to you with a fist full of questions, bloody knuckles and all, and asks you why his heart is so cold, why his fingers are so numb, how will you answer him? Thank you, y'all. Have a great night.